This is a 1955 Ford F-100 short bed truck. It's on the old push button start system. This is an original V8. I believe it's the 256. We're going to take it for a quick spin. Horn even works. I love this truck. It came out of Texas and it's just in really great shape. It's a 3-speed on the column. Normally I'd have somebody hold the camera for me while I drive a manual transmission. This truck drives so good, just doing the video on my own. Watch out for this tractor driver up here. You can see my finger here. It's an old truck, it's all original, so it's got a touch of play in the steering wheel. But it's not steering from ditch to ditch all over the road. Just a typical, what I'd say, a typical normal amount of, slight play in the steering wheel for an old truck. This is actually an old estate truck. This is a truck that's been in the family since it was new. Reverse works good. Emergency brake does work. It's not super tight, but it does work. I wouldn't put it on a steep hill. It may need some adjustment, but it is holding the truck still in the driveway. Pop this hood and let you hear the engine. It does have a primary and secondary latch. Sounds like, we checked, there's an exhaust leak coming from this donut here. Other than that, the engine sounds really healthy. I didn't want to get in there and start messing with that exhaust leak. This engine starts easily and runs strong. Actually, still just a touch cold. Usually when I start these videos, I don't have these vehicles running for more than a couple of minutes. So just so that you know what I heard when the engine was running. Nice, strong, healthy sounding engine. Back on this side of the exhaust, I believe the donut ring inside that, it needs to be replaced. So it's just got a touch of a exhaust leak. When you have the hood down and you're driving the truck, you can hear it just a touch in the cab, but honestly, it's kind of got just an old, nostalgic, old truck sound. So it doesn't sound like, doesn't sound obnoxious or anything. Close this back down. Go ahead and close this door up and show you around the truck. So this truck came out of Texas. It was bought originally by a gentleman who bought it brand new, and it was used mostly as a farm truck. The body's very, very straight on it. I haven't found any rust to be concerned about. It has an old farm style bumper put on the back, and you'll notice that someone customized and put a second spare tire on the passenger side. So I think it's really cool. It's not original, but I think it's very cool, and it looks original. I think if for somebody who didn't know their F-100 history, a lot of people might look at that and say, oh, I didn't know you could have the option of having a spare tire on both sides. I mean, so they did a really good job doing it. The body work underneath it all the way isn't perfect, but as far as the lining it up and just making it look original style, I think it looks good. This has got a really decent quality driver quality paint job on it. It looks good, but it's got a few chips. It is a driver. It's probably about 3 or 4 years old, the paint job is, and the body just shows really, really well, and really, really straight. The hood looks like to be in really great condition, as well as the top. All the glass is in great shape. There's no major scratches on the windshield at all. There's one small crack at the top, and I think when they were putting some new glass in, they may have cracked it. It happens a lot at the top of the vent window over there. The rear window and the side windows glass are in great shape, and the windows actually roll up and down pretty easily. All in very good condition. This says tempered safety glass. These are probably new replacement glass. I love finding an interior like this, pretty much unmolested. The needle has come off of the speedometer, so the speedometer is not working. I would have to go in back in and attach that needle. The odometer is working though. And I would say that's a good possibility, 96,413 original miles. The fuel gauge does work as well, I believe, as the temp gauge. I think actually the fuel gauge and the temp gauge are wired to where when the key's on in one direction, it wants to read and the other doesn't. And then I believe that the fan works as well. Turn the key on. That's the choke. Oh, there goes the fan. There we go. Yep, I knew the fan worked. Whew, blowing some dust out here. So, yep, the old fan works, which is awesome. Seat is covered in a cloth with the vinyl on the outside and looks very clean. And it has a nice clean headliner in it. No rust that I see. One of the things that really impressed me, and I'll show you the underneath of the truck in a minute, is how clean it was underneath and in the cab corners. So brand new Mastercraft Corsair AT tires. And the front tires were actually put on about a year ago, but only driven very, very little. I went to put the rear ones on because I put all brand new wheels. So this is 6 brand new wheels on this truck. And what these wheels are, I kind of went for what I thought was the better option. Is these are actually truly built with chrome, and the center is made to be painted, and then it has a center cap. I decided not to paint the center because I thought I would let the next owner of the vehicle do that, because if it was me, maybe I'd paint it red, the center red, and that would make a nice pop. But it has some white trim on the truck, so maybe I'd paint the center caps, center of the wheel white. And I just I didn't want to make that decision for the next buyer. What I love about this truck is this truck's really ready to drive. All the lights work, even the turn signals work. This is kind of a cool thing. The old man put this is off of a Pontiac, but I just think finding you know, finding the hood ornaments on these old vehicles is just a really cool. It's just a really cool thing. So yeah, just a well taken care of truck. And like I said, this is a truck you can buy and start driving immediately. But you know, things like that, like the wheels, gives you an option to, you know, make a few things your own. So you notice superficial surface rust on these step ups, and these are original. The underneath of this cab has not been wire wheeled or cleaned up in any way. So you're really seeing, so you see the old wood from the original wood bed. Somebody just put a piece of steel over the top of it. These are the original floor pans, and they are in really good condition. And like I said, if I get way up in here, I was impressed. These are actually the original cab corners, and they have no rust in them. So bottom of the bed, back of the bed rails, you can see some rust there. I think that's honestly the only rust that I've seen, and that's not an unusual place to see them rust out, and it's very easy to repair. So as long as I'm way up under here and the ground is cooler, I'll show you. That's the other side of the cab corner. No rust. I mean, superficial surface rust, but that's no rust. No holes there. Like I said, this is what really impressed me. So really solid and rust-free frame rails and floor pans inside the fender wells. Now you've got it's got some surface rust and little crusties here from this attachment piece, but the body itself, I mean, this thing is super straight. No rust in the fenders. And like I said, at some point back down the line, somebody put this steel bed in here, and what's happened is the water's probably, this is probably a long time ago. This is a very old steel bed, put in, you know, who knows how long ago. And over time, the water's run to the edge where it doesn't want to run out if it gets wet, and sat in there. And that's where we saw that one piece spot of rust underneath. Same thing back here. Everything in solid condition. Another thing too is this being the original bed, just wanted to show, this is the back of the bed. There's not one ding, dent, scratch. Maybe very low, I see one tiny one down there. From what the owner told me, this truck was mostly used to haul hay and things like that around the farm and run back and forth to the grocery store. And so that looks consistent with the story, because typically when the truck is used as a hard work truck, the beds are very beat up. Again, superficial surface rust, but no holes. Bottoms of the doors are in good condition. There's a spot down here. This is the only spot I've seen on the truck that bothered me. Probably some rust and some Bondo just in this lower cab. I mean lower, just in this lower fender. And if you look on the inside, wow, very clean. I'll run over to the other side real quick. I'm running a little bit long on this video. I just want to show how clean. I would almost, if it wasn't for that rust in the back of the bed, I would say that this is a 100% rust-free truck. So I'm going to call this a 95% rust-free truck. Beautiful driver, brand new wheels, brand new tires, strong original V8 engine, transmission shifts great, brakes stop good, lights work, even the windshield wipers work, even the horn works. So this truck is ready to go.